Good day. In this video, we are going to discuss Canon 5. Ethics are rules and guidelines for understanding and interpreting what is right and wrong in society to get through difficult situations and make the best decisions. And to be an ethical civil engineer entails adhering to these set of canons and principles. What are these? While principles are fundamental truths from which others are derived, canons, on the other hand, are rules or laws perfected by principles and put into practice. For instance, the third fundamental principle states that civil engineers should strive to increase competence and prestige, and to do so, they are encouraged to build their professional reputation and to compete fairly as per Canon 5. Canon 5 consists of 8 subsections which serve as guidelines for practicing the rule. The first guideline states that civil engineers shall not solicit or receive any contribution or unlawful consideration in order to secure work. Nowadays, finding a job is more challenging, which then results to the increase in the underemployed and unemployed population. While it is true that guidelines should be properly implemented, employers should also give opportunities to inexperienced applicants, particularly fresh graduates.
Civil engineers must conduct contract negotiations for professional services in a fair manner, giving way to demonstrated competence and qualifications relevant to the specific service required. It is essential to prioritize the expertise and track record of the engineers when selecting them for projects, ensuring a transparent and unbiased process that benefits all parties involved. Upholding fairness and competence in contract negotiations promotes the integrity of the profession and fosters a competitive environment based on merit. This approach serves the best interest of the projects and the public.
In this statement, civil engineers are responsible for making decisions and judgment based on their expertise and knowledge. With this, it is important that decisions are made impartially and without any external influence. They need to ensure that their professional judgment remains unbiased and uncompromised in potentially receiving higher compensations. They should be able to make decisions solely based on their expertise and the best interests of the project, rather than being swayed by the potential for financial gain. By adhering to these guidelines, civil engineers uphold their integrity and ensure the quality of their work.
Moreover, while it's stated in the first guideline that civil engineers must build a professional reputation by competing fairly, they shall not falsify or permit misinterpretation of their academic or professional qualifications or experience. Civil engineers must strive to build their own prestige by expanding their experience and achievements for the purpose of securing work and so on.
Whenever possible, they shall name the person or persons who may be responsible for designs, inventions, writings, or other accomplishments. The overachieving goal of this statement is to promote an environment of honesty, justice, and respect within the field of civil engineering. It inspires engineers to give credit where credit is due and to acknowledge the ideas and efforts of others. This not only supports ethical values but also encourages cooperation, respect, and transparency among engineers. Civil engineers help expand knowledge, promote innovation, and make sure people are recognized and appreciated for their contributions to the profession by giving due credit and respecting other proprietary interests.
So another rule for Canon 5 simply implies that the civil engineers can advertise their professional services but must ensure that their advertising materials are truthful, accurate, and respectful towards the profession. The allowable and acceptable advertisements are the following. So first, civil engineers can use professional cards to promote their services in a manner that is consistent, dignified, and aligns with the professional standards of the industry. As seen in the pictures, these are like the business cards containing civil engineers information, services, contact details, and the company name. Civil engineers can also create brochures to describe their experience, facilities, personnel, and capacity to provide services. However, it is important to ensure that the information presented in the brochure is factual and not misleading regarding the engineer's participation in the projects described. Examples can be seen in the pictures provided.
Display advertising and recognize dignified business and professional publications, providing it is factual and is not misleading with respect to the engineer's extent of participations in projects described. This means that advertising any reputable, respectable business and professional media is permitted as long as it delivers information that is truthful and not deceiving. Next is a statement of the engineer's names or the name of the firm and a statement of the type of service posted on projects for which they render services. This implies that as long as the information uploaded is about the services the engineer or company provided, use of their names is allowed. Following is preparation or authorization of descriptive articles for daily or technical press, which are factual and dignified. Such articles shall not imply anything more than direct participation in the project described. Only the services that the engineer has contributed should be listed in the articles. And lastly, permission by engineers for their names to be used in commercial advertisements, such as may be published by contractors, materials, suppliers, etc., only by means of a modest, dignified notation acknowledging the engineer's participation in the projects described. Such permission shall not include public endorsement of proprietary products. This implies that the engineer's name may be publicly endorsed for projects in order to recognize their involvement, although this is not permitted for endorsement of items owned by people or companies. For the next subsection, civil engineers shall not maliciously or falsely, directly or indirectly, injure the professional reputation, prospects, practice, or employment of another engineer, or indiscriminately criticize another's work. This suggests that respect and good communication are required in order to avoid disagreements or conflicts between employees.
Civil engineers must obtain their employer's consent before using equipment, supplies, laboratory, or office facilities for personal private practice. This ensures professional boundaries, avoid conflicts of interest, and upholds ethical standards. Respecting this guideline promotes integrity, maintains employer-employee relationships, and safeguards the interests of both parties.